Welcome to Feedback, G4TV.com's weekly wrap-up of everything awesome in video games, formerly known as Nightcap, but now it's Feedback. That's the new name. I'm Billy Berghammer, editorial director of gaming for G4TV.com, and our new cast, Mike Delonzo. How's it going? Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Billy. Thank you.
The manager of new media and editorial for G4TV.com, and fan favorite Dana Vincent has returned to the show.
Hi, everybody.
Yes. Welcome back.
I'm excited to be here.
X-Play's interactive producer, and then Sterling McGarvey back again, our senior previews and review editor for G4TV.com.
Hi there. I still hate you for drinking awesome beer last week.
Apple juice, but it was delicious.
This is uncomfortable.
I wasn't talking about when you were filming.
Oh. Okay, well, that's true.
General principle.
But
Still
we're
hate
back.
you.
We're
How are you, Mike?
I'm good, Dana. How are you?
I'm great.
I didn't have any beer last week.
I didn't have any beer either.
I didn't have
I
beer
had this
last
stuff
week.
called Pisco. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of it.
lies. Anyway, this week's feedback, we're going to do our normal top three news stories of the week. We're going to talk about BlizzCon and the World of Warcraft expansion, Aliens Colonial Marines having some release issues, and the PS3 Slim is already in stores, which was announced at Gamescom. So they have it at Best Buy. Go pick it up right now. And then we're going to talk about this week's reader question, which some poor sap really wants to get into games journalism. No, I think it's a good idea. So we're going to give him some suggestions. And this week's game of the week, playing right behind me, Madden NFL 10. Packers are down 3 points.
Look, I'm waiting for the lols in the comments. Lol, Packers suck.
I know.
Kids.
I'm
not
totally
only that,
gonna eat
lost
it.
to the Rams.
Totally gonna
I think the Rams were 1-15 last year, and they're creaming these simulated Packers.
At least it's not Detroit.
I was about to say, at least it's not the Lions.
Go
eat it.
Lions.
It's true. So, well, let's start with the news. Sterling?
All right. Top story is BlizzCon. Our own Brian Leahy went down to sunny Orange County into the deepest jungles of nerd funk in Anaheim to
And skateboarding.
Sounds like
skateboarding.
Sounds like an intro to a Dolomite movie.
Hey,
Nerd
man,
funk.
don't mess with no BlizzCon.
Nice.
Into the deepest jungles of nerd.
The deepest jungles of nerd funk to go play WoW Cataclysm.
Yeah.
And checking out the new Battle.net, which there's been a lot of comparisons to Steam and Xbox Live with the new Battle.net. And Blizzard is kind of teasing at a console project, saying that they're in discussion with different hardware manufacturers about Diablo 3.
Excellent.
So
For a WoW fan, I know you guys aren't big WoW fans, but as somebody that plays WoW, I'm very, very excited for this expansion. And not only, the level cap's going to 85, which is just another 5 levels, which is great. But what they're doing is they're basically rebooting the entire game for everybody. Not only if you do if you get the expansion, but the entire continent, both the first 2 continents that you play in the game are being completely changed. New quests, the world itself is going to be terraformed differently because of this giant world event. And for people that have already played the game, because a lot of people roll different characters, they could play again all the way through it, and it's going to be a completely different experience. So,
Well,
Go ahead.
no, it's okay.
No, I insist.
No.
stop
really.
this polite
I'll
crap.
just jump in.
Okay.
Level 85?
Yeah.
That's like a nugget in the pail, dude.
Well, it takes when you get up to the higher levels, that takes a long time.
Okay. Yeah, my memories of WoW are largely of walking in on coworkers, running around, or something flapping its wings. That's
Mommy
pretty
and
much how
Daddy,
I
stop
think of
fighting.
it. I think of some flying machine jumping around the sky, and then me being like, I got work to do.
Wait, speaking of flying, now I have to preface this by saying I don't play WoW, so I don't know a lot about it. But I was speaking with someone yesterday who was telling me that all the environments are being changed because they're adding a lot more flying mounts
Yes,
so that
because
you can fly around.
There were flying mounts in
Right.
the expansions, but you could not, in the main part of Azeroth, use flying mounts. You could only use ground mounts. So
Well, thank God.
now it's just easier. It's faster travel, basically. So
Oh, yeah.
I just know a lot of people that played and quit, like, Patrick Rosawa, who's filming right now. Like, he quit. He stopped playing. And he saw what Blizzard is doing, and he's like, wow, that's super rad. I want to start playing again.
I also hear there's a giant dragon.
Just one.
One's
That's it.
enough.
His name's Larry.
I don't play the game, but I think it's actually, it would be kind of cool to be able to revisit all this stuff with a whole new set of challenges to accomplish. It's been out forever, and these people are probably really tired of playing the same things over and over again.
Believe it or not, no, they're not.
Or either that or maybe the newness.
There's 15 million people that are totally not tired.
No,
of it.
I don't mean it like that, but it becomes a very microcosmic thing. Like
Right,
you're doing very small bits of stuff, and really you're just doing
For
it
the
to
horde.
Yeah, well, you're just doing it to hang out with your friends and stuff. But now you got real stuff to do again. So
And
that's
it's all new.
Yeah,
And that's
real
not
stuff.
all new,
You
but-
got real stuff to do.
In a fake world.
You done?
Yes. So BattleNet 2.0,
Yes.
also kind of cool because they're bringing all of the Blizzard things under one roof online. So even if you have StarCraft, like say the original StarCraft disc is all scratched up, all you have to do is enter your product code. Boom, you can download it. Super easy.
That is
Warcraft
a
3,
nice-
same thing.
Nice
It's the
update.
future.
It's kind of like Steam. So
Does that mean we'll see StarCraft 64 on Virtual Console?
probably not.
Ha 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 ha. That was my cute segue into the console a whole bit.
Nice work.
Yeah, you like that, don't you?
That was brilliant.
You
Not
know,
only is your hair fabulous, but your segues are amazing.
Bethesda did it. Bethesda's done a fantastic job with taking traditional PC games and porting them to console.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they started it off with Morrowind and porting that to the Xbox, which, people would argue, well, the PC version had more mods, is fantastic, but then Oblivion, they really crossed over, and now with Fallout 3, they've pretty much, it's standard operating procedure. So I would be interested to see Blizzard step into that territory. Diablo 3 is a fantastic game to test it out with. And,
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have the high-powered rig to play today's PC games or tomorrow's, as Diablo 3 will be, it'd be really nice to be able to sit on the couch and play something like that, especially Diablo 3. I mean, personally, I would give anything to play WoW on my couch, but no.
Anything?
Anything?
Anything.
That seems to have been everybody's whole fantasy for years now. Everybody's been like, when are we going to get WoW on 360?
It would be great, but they have no interest. They don't have to do it.
No.
They're like, whatever, 15 million people are playing it on PC. We're fine.
You could practically run the damn thing on a netbook.
It's true. So, all right, what's next on the news?
So the next thing we are discussing here, it's Aliens, Colonial Marines' fate depends on Alien versus Predator. Patrick interviewed, not Patrick who's filming, Patrick Klepek, our news editor, interviewed Sega president Mike Hayes and threw out a few questions about AVP and Colonial Marines. And Hayes responded that Alien vs. Predator's success is really going to determine the future of what Sega does with the license. Could be next year, could be sometime further down in the future, but however AVP does is going to determine whether or not they decide to go on with Gearbox's Aliens shooter.
Which I was just at Gearbox right around QuakeCon, and I was like, hey, I really want to see your Aliens title as well. I wanted to see what they were working on, and Sega's like, no, we're not showing anything yet. We don't want to see anything. And I know the game is super far into development. The last time people saw it, I think, was when Game Informer had it on the cover.
Yeah.
And they've just totally gone silent.
Companies do this all the time. They're just not public with it usually. You know what I mean? Like, titles are dependent on the success of other titles all the time. It's like movies. It's, whether or not they're going to make a sequel depends on how much they bring in with the first. So the fact that they're both in development, it's going to come out eventually. It's just maybe it was a little bit too public of a statement for him to make, but it's not unusual, I don't think.
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's definitely like, I think there'll be two totally different kind of experiences. Like Rebellion's working on AVP, and they're like British development house. They're definitely trying to bring it back to that like old school, like 3-tiered battle kind of vibe. Whereas Colonial Marines is more straight up like Aliens. I almost think of it like, from the sense I got from reading about it, almost like squad-based shooter kind of thing,
Right.
with aliens. Which,
Yeah.
it's kind of tough to say which one I'd want to see first.
We saw like a really quick character model when we were touring Gearbox. We got a video tour that's going up a little bit, and I'm super excited with what those guys are going to be doing. I mean, Gearbox knows shooters. It's true.
Yeah.
So, and they're huge Aliens fans. I mean, they want to return to the first like Alien and Aliens, when I think Aliens was really good.
That's
personally.
because they love the core. Every formation a parade, every meal's a banquet. I'm more excited for Colonial Marines because Aliens is one of my favorite movies ever, and so I would just be really excited to play a game that was made by a company that understood sort of the franchise and everything. Alien versus Predator, I'd be really mad if because that game didn't do well, we never got to see Colonial Marines.
I still think we're going to see it. It's just depending on when.
Yeah.
I would actually hope that both of them do well, because maybe they'll uncancel Obsidian's Aliens RPG.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Can you imagine like
But that thing's
Alpha
dead.
Protocol meets Aliens? It'd be cool,
It would be cool.
but it's dead.
So when I was at Gamescom in Germany, the PS3 Slim was announced. Not a big surprise to everybody. Everybody knew it was going to be happening.
Slim.
Yeah, the
And-
worst kept secret in gaming, the PS3 Slim.
Yeah, it's true. But the surprise was that it was going to be coming out like September 1st. And no, it's not.
Out.
Yeah, it's in stores.
Someone
I was
gets
at Best,
Sony a calendar
Yeah.
because it's not September 1st.
Yeah, I was at Best Buy
Hello.
yesterday and saw a pallet of them. The guy was setting up to play Madden on the TV. It was just already in stores. You can go right now.
Were they
$2.99.
trying to sell them to you 3 for 1?
I wish.
Right?
I could get some of those. 3 for 1.
Now, Sterling, you already have a PS3.
Yes.
You thinking about getting a Slim?
Why?
Exactly.
Ouch.
Would you? I mean,
If
now-
I didn't have a PS3, it's a tough call because that brings in a whole different thing about, the fact that Sony got rid of backwards compatibility. And that doesn't matter to some of our readership. It matters to other people. And for me, I mean, writing about games, like, I need backwards compatibility. If I'm going to go in and I'm playing something I'm not familiar with and it's got a long history on the PS2, I need to be able to put that disc in. And I need to check it out, look at the history. That's what I did when I first got started in the industry. I went to GameStop and raided their used game section and just started playing stuff and educating myself. And having backwards compatibility makes a huge, huge difference. There's going to be people that say, well, I don't care. I just want to play the newest and greatest stuff and move on. That's fine if what you want out of your gaming is just entertainment for entertainment's sake. If you're like diehard, hardcore gamer, wants to know your roots, wants to stay in the know, it's good to be able to go back.
yeah, but what would happen if it would have tacked on another $100?
That's tough to say. I think a lot of why they had to shave it out was cost. I've talked to people who think that Sony's biding its time and they're going to do something in the PlayStation Store similar to Xbox Originals where you're going to see downloadable games. But, I mean, I've been thinking they might do something like that for 2 years
Yeah,
now
but
when they stripped it out.
Why wait? I mean, they're losing competitive time
I'm
the
willing-
longer that they wait for that. They're getting towards the middle of the product cycle. Eventually,
Past the middle of the product.
well, yeah.
cycle.
I mean, eventually, Microsoft's going to announce the 720 or whatever it is, and the Wii 2, and then
Wii 2?
there'll be more Wii, the Wii, the littlest Wii, and it'll be too late. I mean, people.
I
by
don't
that
think
point
they have
will-
the tech for it. I don't think it's stable yet. If they have something like that, I just don't know that it's ready for them to do it. And that's what the big problem is.
Now, you both don't have PlayStation 3s yet.
This is true.
This being at the $299 price point, does that entice you more to want to go there?
For me, to be honest, it was never quite the price point that was holding me back. It was more the lack of sort of exclusive titles. But that game has changed now because some things have come out in the past couple of months that have been really cool on the PS3. So I think now that it's more affordable, it definitely makes it, more appetizing. But like, for instance, in my house, we have a PS2 already.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, backwards compatibility doesn't come into play because if I want to play a PS2 game, I already have a PS2. So yeah, for $299, I'm probably gonna pick one up. It's chic, it's hip. I like it.
It doesn't. The price doesn't really matter to me.
Okay.
I was always a PlayStation guy, and I was waiting for PS3 to come out, and I was excited about it. And then, as time went on, it just became less appealing to me in general.
Interesting.
And I think that was probably part of it was the lack of sort of exclusive titles. Really, the only thing at this point that I'll be sad to miss is God of War 3, because everything else that I want to play is on the 360. And if I have a choice between spending $299 on what is essentially for me a Blu-ray player, or spend $249 and buy the Beatles Rock Band bundle for the 360, I'll buy the Beatles Rock Band bundle because I love my 360. And that's not because that has nothing. I don't want to start a flame war or anything like that. Like, I don't hate the PS3. It's just not for me. I'm not really. And the slim part of it doesn't. It just is. It's cosmetic.
Right.
It'd be like if they released a
It's
silver
still
one,
big.
which they were supposed to do. Whatever happened to the silver?
Oh, they
PlayStation
always
3?
show, when they show new consoles, they always show a bunch of different
Yeah,
colors.
with the
and
concept
it's
stuff.
just concept.
That probably would entice me. I'd pay
Silver?
a lot of money for
I
it.
like
That's a
shiny
pretty
things.
silver PlayStation 3.
Should have got the gunmetal gray Metal Gear one.
Right.
Yeah, that thing was
I
hot.
should've.
But like God of War, Heavy Rain, Uncharted. I mean,
Yeah,
there's-
Uncharted's the one that I
Yeah,
want to play.
Uncharted's pretty awesome, but I'm actually
Killzone,
in a unique position to be able
Infamous?
to.
Turismo, Infamous.
I have all my friends have it,
True.
and I work at G4, so if I really want to play it for a couple minutes, I can find a way to do it. You know,
But it's interesting that they've released it at $299 because if backwards compatibility is important to you, you could get a Slim and then go to GameStop or somewhere and get a PlayStation 2 for $99.
Except that it won't play your games in HD. That's the rub.
Well, you can still use component cables, but whatever.
It looks terrible.
Man.
There's the rub. I'm just saying.
That's the issue. No, that's an important issue.
I'm not going anywhere with mine. Because you can. It's really easy to put a new hard drive in your PlayStation 3, and that was my biggest thing was that I filled mine up, but I sunk a 320 gig hard drive in it. It was only like $100, super easy to do, and I've got the backwards compatibility, so I'm not going anywhere.
I should
Plus, I think it's ugly.
Yeah.
It's ugly.
I mean, they're both kind of.
And the new logo sucks. Just saying.
I don't
Tell
know.
us how you really feel.
I'm not really
It's
holding
going to
back.
sit behind my TV. I'm not sweating it that hard, but I am happy that the price is down because it means more of my friends who wanted both consoles, wanted to play as much stuff as possible, can. And also, it means some of these stupid flame wars will die down a little.
Wait till this goes up, and I can just imagine
I know,
the flame wars that are about to happen.
People are going to think that I'm anti PS3, which I'm really not. Like I said, I always was a PlayStation guy. I really like Sony. I love PlayStation. It's just I don't make that much money. I can't afford to buy 2 consoles and maintain them.
I don't believe you.
That's why you got to get a job on the side. We'll talk about it after.
Yeah.
All right, so that is
Heard
this
that
week's
before.
news. So now it's time for this week's reader question. And this week's reader question, it was sent via email. This guy cheated. You're supposed to do it in the feed story, but I thought it was a good question. And it's from Zach Palermo. So, Dana?
Zach writes, I am a high school senior considering a career in video game journalism. What are some skills that are ideal for this job, and what possible college majors would nicely complement my effort in this field?
What do you think, Sterling?
Anyone?
I believe Samuel Jackson said it best when he said, English, do you speak it? Study English. To be honest, there's too many gamers, not enough writers.
Yeah, amen.
I think it's
Hello.
just like people like, I'm sorry, but when I see stuff and your grammar is janky, like basic mechanic construction, using lol as punctuation doesn't help me take you as seriously if you're into it, if you're interested in pursuing this. But, I had this discussion with somebody yesterday, and we were saying that the cool thing is when kids now have so much more access, there's so many different ways to express themselves than any of us did. My advice to him would mainly be, if he's really serious about it, like start a blog now, start doing video reviews on YouTube now. There's readily available tools out there for you to use. You just need to go ahead and take a grasp of them. The best advice I could give outside of, where he could go to school, which I would probably advise being close to New York where there's a lot of media, or going to school on the West Coast where this
SF.
stuff is concentrated.
Yeah.
Or Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Look at your idols. Look at who you like. Who are your favorite writers? Who are your favorite personalities? Who makes the best content you like regarding games? And think of how you can be better than that person.
Now, did you go to school for journalism?
No. That's the funny thing is, no, I didn't. I totally came from an unconventional background. Whereas, Patrick Klepek went to J school.
Yeah.
And did everything, did the proper route. And I think it shows in a lot of his work. Whereas, I think a lot of people don't come from conventional means. I think that if you're a good, solid writer, your skills will shine through. I used to write about electronic music, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least you were writing. I mean,
Yeah, that's the
I
big
did
thing.
broadcast journalism in English, and I was going to be a double major, but I couldn't stomach Chaucer, and I was like, screw this, I'm done with English. But yeah, I went for radio.
Now we're going to start a flame war about Chaucer.
About Chaucer.
Great.
Yeah, everybody-
Thanks, Billy.
Bring it on. Chaucer sucks.
Oh,
The
man.
partner's tale, dude.
So, whatever.
Awesome.
Totally over it.
Chaucer for life, XX.
No, but I started my own website, and it was a lot harder back in the day when you didn't have the whole blogosphere where the tools are all so readily available now. You can start a blog anywhere. It's super easy to do. Now, getting people to follow it and starting a fan base and all that's your own problem. But I just say just write your brains out.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could be a video game journalist today if you wanted to be. The question is, if you want to be a paid video game journalist,
True.
learn to write.
Yes.
Journalists learn to write, period, and then develop areas of expertise as time goes by. If you're a decent journalist, you can write about anything. You don't need to be an expert at the thing you're writing about. I mean, I have been a freelance journalist in many different arenas that I was not an expert about, but I got paid because I learned to write. And that's really the most important thing. don't, like Sterling said, don't come at it from the perspective of I'm a gamer, I want to be a journalist. Be a journalist and be lucky to be a gamer and get a job that way. But take whatever job you can get, because once you get a journalist job, it's easier to get other ones.
Getting your foot in the door is the first thing.
Yeah.
Be an intern. Swear to God.
Yep. Do the internship.
Yeah. Take your lumps.
I think it's important to remember that you don't necessarily have to major in English or journalism in order to learn it. You have to do it. And so it helps to take a couple classes, like, to learn proper grammar and style. Style is very important. People often forget about that. But being able to put a sentence together is highly underrated, I think, in this society with Twitter and everything. But I digress. I think the most important thing is to be a well-rounded person. So if you want to go to school, it's not necessarily that important that you major in English, but that you major in something that you're interested in that's going to teach you how to think critically. And also, you need to develop some massive people skills, which if you have those, especially in the area of video game journalism, where it tends to attract some of the more introverted of the species, it will put you leaps and bounds ahead of everyone else, because you'll be able to talk to people. And a big part of our jobs is dealing with PR and companies and, trying to sweet talk them into giving us information.
Yeah. Just one more thing, because I know you're hungry to move on, but it's work. You have to realize that it's work. It's not as sexy as it seems when you watch it and you think, oh, I could be Adam Sessler. My job is to get on television and talk about video games all day. It's work. You have to get your reps. You have to go out and you have to write. And you have to write about games that you don't like. You have to do that a lot. And that is not fun. That part of it where you have to put your mind into the mind of a person who might like this kind of game is not at all fun. It's a lot of work. It's not just, you get to talk about Metroid all day, every day, and then get a big paycheck and go drive your golden Bentley home. It doesn't work like that,
It's not.
No.
Wait,
Sorry,
what?
Billy.
Well, not just that, before we move on to what I know you've been clamoring and chomping at the bit to talk
No,
about.
I actually really like this topic because
people-
we get this question a lot.
Well, no, people want to know, like, somebody came over yesterday, somebody brought somebody over and they asked, well, what is it like? What do you do all day? And I said, honestly, I spend a lot of time on Outlook. And I spend a lot of time scheduling things. And I spend a lot of time staring at a calendar thinking, oh, God, how am I going to assign enough people to cover this stuff and get it all in a timely fashion? At the point where I'm at in the game, everything is scheduling. There's occasional gaming, but it's mostly scheduling and office
Well, it's like
stuff.
Tetris with times, right?
Yep, exactly.
I call the job occasionally sexy, because occasionally you get to do sexy things, which is better than never getting to do anything.
The biggest misconception is the fact that all we do is sit at our desks and play video games all day long.
I can tell you that in the 3.5 years I've been here, I may have spent a total of 6 hours playing video games at work.
I play a lot more at home.
And one of those hours was yesterday, luckily.
Dana, so, Dana, you would describe it as a butterface job?
Yeah, that's pretty much how I would
It's a
describe it.
two-bagger.
No, but like you guys. I majored in ethics, history, and public policy when I was in college. Like, it was basically political science, and that has absolutely nothing to do with video games. I just happen to like them. So
That's
and
cool.
then Rob gave me a job, so
Well,
that was really nice of him.
Well, hopefully we help Zach out a little bit. Just write your brains out and don't be afraid to fail.
Yep. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That's about the way we can go. So, moving to this week's game of the week, which I'm very excited to talk about. Did the Packers win? Did anybody follow?
You got that, Madden?
I
don't
think actually the Packers did
won.
lose. They lost at the end.
They lost to the Rams.
Now the
everybody.
Rams have moved on to the 49ers.
Niners.
Yeah.
It's St. Louis Rams versus San Francisco 49ers
barn
in the
burner.
game someone must win.
Yeah, exactly. This is what's called the penalty game of the week.
Well, shocker, this game of the week is from EA Tiburon and EA Sports, Madden NFL 10.
Yo.
And Mike Delonzo, you reviewed the game. You gave it a 4 out of 5.
Well, I reviewed. Yes, I did. I reviewed it on the 360 and the PlayStation 3, and I gave it a 4 out of 5. And it's really a great game. The only reason it didn't get a 5 out of 5 is that the save system is still a little clunky, and some of the better features in the game are kind of buried in the nav. But other than that, it's pretty flawless. Like, they've gotten rid of a lot of the things that have sort of clunked up the game over the last few years. The playmaker icons are not there anymore. The woeful quarterback vision cone of silence is no longer there.
But those are the yearly
Cone of shame.
Those are the yearly things that they're like, this is our new thing. And
Right.
then
Well, they do
it
have a new
failed,
thing
so
this
we
year,
got
and
rid of it.
this year's new thing did not fail at all, which is this sort of a gang. It's called ProTac. It's a gang tackling thing that more. You're tempting me, but I'm not going to go there.
That's it. Your mic is gone. Oops.
I'm sorry. It's a game tackling that. Go on. Sorry.
Well, instead of you being hit by one person and immediately depleted, you can, if you are like Brandon Jacobs, who is somebody of size, you can carry up to seven guys with you, and it makes the running game or the yards after catch a little bit more realistic.
That's yak. By the way.
Yak, yeah.
The yak.
It really helps kickoff and punt returns. I've seen.
Yeah, it does. It does, and
it looks fantastic.
It really does look fantastic. I mean, at this point, it's almost exactly the same as watching a football game. I was reviewing the game, and my wife walked in and said something about not knowing that the preseason had started. And I said, no, this is Madden. It took like a second for her to realize that it was a video game. It's really that beautiful. Madden's gone for the most part, and except for the ghostly Ask Madden feature, which is oddly inappropriate.
And there's no voice.
Yeah, well,
there used to be a voice.
No, he does.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It didn't when I tried it out last time.
Oh, no, it worked just fine, but his calls are completely wrong. It's down and distance and not situational, so you could be down by 35 points and you're at like 4th and 9, and you ask Madden, he's like, oh, punt. And there's like 40 seconds left in the game, and which is something you would never do, you know? Or he'll call some zone defense when you clearly have like no time left on the clock and all you have to do is stop a play. It just doesn't, it's down and distance and not situational. So Ask Madden's not as good as it could be.
He's kind of delirious now anyway, so maybe it's pretty much on par.
I was
sort of turducken.
It is turducken.
I was going to say there should be a turducken mini game, which would be sweet. Where you stuff things inside of each other.
Now, Dana, what'd you think of Madden? As I'm catching you in mid laugh.
Oh, sorry. I was just thinking about Joe Buck for some reason. Anyway,
Troy Aikman.
Yeah. Anyway, I love Madden. I've always been a huge fan of Madden because I'm a giant football fan, and I was playing it last night, and it's really good. Some of the things that I was reading, like I remember reading Peter Moore's blog a while ago where he talked about some of the new engineering features that they were adding to the game. Mm-hmm. And I remember reading it thinking, how are we going to realize this as players? And it's really completely different. Like when you're running pass plays, I know they did something with you can't complete a pass unless the receiver turns and looks at the.
And the defensive back has to be turned and looking at the ball to defend the play.
And it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, if you catch a cornerback not looking, you can snag the ball even if you're really well covered. And that's really, I read that too.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. They really did a lot with that stuff. It's very subtle. It's not, they don't, usually EA goes out of their way to say, it's our new don't look at the cornerback feature. But this, you wouldn't know if you didn't know, but it's there. It really works.
Yeah, and the animations are great. I mean, the game looks flawless. And I quite enjoy it. It's kind of bittersweet though, because I'm like, has football started yet?
Well, preseason.
That doesn't count. Come on.
It does count if your team wins.
It was nice to see.
Packers are 2-0. I'm like, this is awesome. We're winning.
It was nice to see that they added Brett Favre to the game.
So I updated.
Go.
Okay,
Here we go.
The first game, it's so traditional for me to play Packers, Vikings, and Lambeau. First game, always. So I had to update the roster to
How is that this year?
Bring the traitor Favre over to the Vikings, and he was in the game. I'm like, great. But because of the fact that he wasn't initially planned on being in the game, like his character is in there, he's on the jersey, his face looks pretty good, but no announcement. It's no number 4, no Brett Favre. It's just he did this and he did that, which is great. Because right now, as a Packer fan, I think he's a douchebag. So like, it's great, and I think the game's really realistic because the Packers beat the Vikings 27-0. So
that is realism.
That's
just saying,
gonna happen.
And 2 interceptions, which is also very realistic.
Only in the playoffs
for Brett Favre. Yeah, we're not talking about that anymore. Sterling, now I know you're not a huge football fan.
Yeah,
but you went out on a limb, played some Madden.
Sure did. Actually, my first thing I was thinking was as soon as Dana was like, I love Madden, I was like, there goes the spike in marriage proposals. Everybody's going to be like, Dana, will you marry me? I can see it all now. It's
Everyone's
funny.
just going to think I'm a lesbian, but I'm not.
or that you're lying.
No.
But
either.
she's not lying. We have one tradition at E3 every year, and that is Dana and I play Madden. Regardless of what other games are there, we will be at the front of the line to play Madden every year, and everybody looks at her like, why are you playing Madden? And then they watch her play, and they're like, oh, you're good.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
It's funny that you were totally ragging on Ask Madden because, like, year after year, Ask Madden is my crutch. Like,
Well,
because
You're going to blitz on every play.
well, it
then.
can be,
Damn
especially
right. I do every time.
you know, defensive schemes are complicated if you're not really a football fan.
Yeah.
Defense, calling plays on defense is a real pain. So Ask Madden is a really reliable feature usually.
Yeah.
But this time, not so much.
See, my comparison is that every year Madden is like Groundhog Day for me. I step outside, I get Madden, pop it into my console, play it for like half an hour, 45 minutes, and then that determines if I see my shadow and it goes back on the shelf for the rest of the year. I saw my shadow.
There you go.
You know, the thing that I noticed, and for me, you know, it's not me going, oh, I hate sports games. I actually read a great article on Kotaku yesterday. Luke Plunkett wrote about this whole in defense of sports games and how all the reasons that people usually insult sports games and say they don't like them, there's elements of other games that they like, but they're embedded in sports games. The sense of victory, the strategy that you find in manager mode and franchise modes, it's all there. And then
Men in pads.
Yeah, well, yeah. And my other favorite was the whole, well, I'd go outside and play a sport, you know, if I wanted to play
Yeah,
sports.
right.
And I'm like, yeah, because you're going to have an asthma attack going
Do they say
outside
the
to get
same?
the mail.
Yeah. Do they say the same thing about mech games? Like they're going to.
If I wanted to wear a Mech Warrior machine, I'd go out and put one on.
Now, my question though, if it had a better like training system, like how to play Madden, would you like it more? Like if it showed you how to play, because there is a virtual
All right,
trainer.
The
but
virtual
it's
trainer's
not,
okay. You know, this is going to sound this is going to sound weird because for somebody who usually doesn't play Madden, I remember year after year stupid stuff. Like I remember literally the Xbox version of Madden 06 had video replay. And I think it was video replays or something specifically. No, Shannon Sharp would go, this is why this play works this way.
Yeah.
So when you have a bunch of guys, when you're trying to run the ball, if you sprint ahead of your linesman, you're going to get tackled. And they're like, here's the timing for it. For somebody who doesn't know football that well, that watches it with a passing interest, that's crucial to know. Yeah. And I always feel like EA has like, they're trying to make it more accessible, but they never quite get it right. So what they did this time was they let you adjust your playbook based on your knowledge base. So at the absolute like complete idiot level, it basically plays itself. Like it goes, here's a play. Now you're going to hit a button to hike it, and then you hit a button to get it to the guy. You're like, okay, so it's Ask Madden on autopilot. The next
It's girlfriend
level,
mode.
I don't know. I thought maybe the next one might be.
I want to play this.
Wouldn't it be great if they had two announcers that were just girlfriends instead of Collinsworth and the other guy? They had two girls in the booth. Like, why are they running into that pile? Why don't they run away from the guys? Which is the number one question that girls ask about football.
Now, the other thing I wanted to ask you, because I know you were not a big fan of it, the Wii version of Madden.
Yeah. Okay, it's not good, but it's not for lack of trying. It's not that they.
Well, they've tried for years. They keep trying.
Right. Well, what they did this time was, you know, last year they introduced the All Play, which was sort of a family-oriented version of Madden for the Wii, and that I guess maybe didn't work for them. It was too much development, or they just decided they were going to try and mash those two things into one game. So what you've got is this sort of Frankenstein's monster of All Play and the sim game that's Madden. But neither of them have their better aspects in the game, so they don't work particularly well. Also, to your point about tutorials and stuff like that, the Wii tutorial is horrible. It's not practical in any way. It shows a picture of the remote as opposed to like, here's where your teammate will be or how that works. But like, it's just the remote. Like if you want to throw the ball, flick your wrist. Well, that's intuitive. You know that's going to happen. But the difference between, say, a bullet and a lob is infinitesimal, and it doesn't make any sense. And then the graphics are just this weird kludge of real life graphics and comic big-headed football graphics, and it looks terrible. It's just not a good game. You could see what they wanted to do, and I think eventually they'll get to something that's a little bit more family friendly. But they should just, and this is a horrible thing to tell one of the big three companies to do, but you should abandon the sim game to Sony and to Microsoft, because you're never going to touch them. Just make a family-friendly version of Madden that your grandparents can pick up and play, and concentrate on that. And the All Play was fine. They should have just stayed that course. You know.
So what'd you give it?
I give it a 2 out of 5.
And Madden NFL 10 for the 360 and PS3 a 4 out of 5. So
I give football a 5 out of 5.
word, I'm with you. So no, I liked it. I thought it was great. So it was good. It was a good game of the week. So.
You know, one thing I will say, Mike, I'll be curious to see what Tecmo does with Family Fun Football. I want to see the influence, because EA, like what they did with FIFA, I think they curbed a lot of stuff from what they saw Pro Evolution doing on Wii, and I could totally see EA looking at what Tecmo is going to do with like basically Tecmo Bowl on the Wii, which is what it is without a license, and saying that was pretty good. Let's totally use that.
Yeah, but
next
I'm
year's
wondering
game.
if they wouldn't get more mileage out of just putting the 8-bit Tecmo Bowl on the Wii, because everybody loved that game.
They do. They have it on
was
virtual.
great.
It's on
It's on
virtual
Bo
Virtual
Jackson.
console.
There you go.
I want more
Bo
Bo
Jackson's
Jackson.
football. How about
That
Joe
is what
Montana's
I
football?
am missing
want
in my
sports
life.
talk.
Is some Bo Jackson.
Well, time you guys must have to dust off your old consoles because that ain't gonna happen. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, that's it for this week's show. Sterling, Dana, Mike, thank you very much for coming by. The feedback. I'm not
Thanks
used
for
to
having us, Billy.
Thank you for having us
It's
on.
been fantastic.
Yeah, radio show.
I'm not
Now
used
what are we
to,
going to
the
go
new
do?
name
Wrestle?
yet, but we're going to be back next week with an all new feedback, and then next weekend we're going to
You
be
guys.
live taping at PAX, which is going to be really awesome. Adam,
What
Morgan,
you mean we, paleface?
Well, okay, Sterling will be there. Patrick Klepek, also Adam, Morgan.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Enjoy
it sure
that.
does.
Okay,
I heard
and
Seattle's
Mike
beautiful
Dunn.
this time of year.
But anyway, it's almost the weekend, so go play something and have a good weekend.